Maithili and Wasi, both from first year
Okay,
BVO.
Rohan, sorry to interrupt you, but can everybody just see half of his face?
Rohan,
Your face, half of it only I can see.
acha,
Now it is when you're
now?
leaning. Yes. Okay.
Okay. Sorry, yeah, thank you.
Yeah, no, I didn't
Yeah,
want it to be recorded like that. Okay.
right. I'll keep that in mind. Yeah. So the book we had chosen was is Agile for Everybody, and really sorry for the delay. I think 1.5 months we did not have anything, but then with the motivation and constant motivation from our coordinator, we have again begun. So Agile for Everybody is a management book. It guides managers, product managers, and other people working in the organization. This goes across for every person, every individual, how he should be agile. Now, in the cover page, you can see how to create fast, flexible, customer first organizations. The COVID 19 pandemic, the crisis itself, has underlined the importance of being agile. Now, agile means to be able to adapt to things, to be able to adapt to change, and that too with a decent speed, not very slow, not at a snail pace. That wouldn't be called agile. So that is the definition of agility. Agility can be in terms of your sports or the way you work in your daily life. Now, let me go ahead. It is not really clear, but as we've already learned in Start with Why, Simon Sinek's book, the agile approach. Agile is an approach which is used in businesses, organizations to run their uh, organizations. So the very first thing which they have to address is why, the why of what they are doing or what they want to do. That is establishing exact, clear, specific objectives and goals, and understanding why those also understanding why those goals are being set, and then what are the implications, what are the outcomes of uh, setting these goals, and in the pursuit of these goals what are we going to achieve. And agile practices is how do we achieve what we want. Students of management would be very known to this. Like you have initially you plan, and then you staff, you organize, and then you have control processes in place. It's quite similar to this is agile. It's mainly used in software companies, IT companies. It's used extensively because you have huge projects to manage. So and there are different aspects to uh, completing a project. That's one. If you have to create a website, one, you need to have the main idea in place. What all do you want to have in your website? Then it's moved on to the design department, and then the developers develop it according to what the design department wants. So it happens in bits and pieces. This is actually the traditional approach, but then the agile approach says that you have to be customer centric. When we talk about being customer centric, at every stage of development of your product or service, you keep taking feedback. That's one very main difference between the traditional approach and the agile approach, as per Matt Leme, sorry, which he says at every stage you take feedback, and then you again uh, execute whatever you're doing as per the feedback which has been received from your customers. Collaborating with people from all levels of the organizational hierarchy. What usually happens is the top level management sets goals, and then it's sent down to the middle level management to be implemented through the lower level uh, management. In Agile, one main difference which the author has underlined is that the person at the lowest level also has a say in deciding. So if even if that person gives you feedback saying that this is not happening the way it should be happening, or this is a better way, then the management, the top level management, must be agile enough to adapt and adopt. This is one fundamental difference between the traditional way of managing an organization and this approach which is being talked about, and being open to change. Change management is the buzzword in this year. People, organizations have had to move online. My friends, some of you may have been over here in 11th, 12th, first year. No, I think Trisha would have been here, and ma'am is also here. This is the first time we have online. The fee system is completely online. The admission is completely online. Otherwise, there have been huge queues. I personally have had quarrels with people jumping queues because discipline is not ingrained in us. We tend to jump queues. That's how it is. But now the college was had to adopt, had to change. So this is all about the agile approach. Next is I want to talk about these three laws which the author has spoken about in context of traditional um organizational structures. The way traditionally things go is, let's read that and then we'll discuss it. Now, since this is a book discussion, the structure we follow is that the person steering it would just give you an extract, the crux of the book. And then, if students may have read, or if the other people may have read it, they can add on to it. They can, and then we can have a discussion for 15 to 20 minutes. So, traditionally, the individuals in an organization avoid customer facing work if it is not a part of their day to day responsibilities. What the author is trying to say is, if this is not given in my service rules, I will not do it, even if it is in the best interest or the larger interest of the organization. This is a rule which all of us follow. The second one is, we will prioritize work which is comfortable for us within our comfort zone, in our own silo, in that tight, watertight department. Now, working with the startup and innovation cell and other cell associations, what I have personally noticed, I wish to mention over here, is that not every association wants to work just for, I mean, for the students or in the larger interest of the students. It's just that, okay, this is an activity, we have to do it, but you don't see collaboration when it comes to events clashing. The coordination which has to take place is not taking place. So this is what the author means by saying that you're working in your own silo according to your own comfort zone without taking into consideration the other factors, the other components in your organization. So the this one management principle which we have learned is the larger interest of the organization must gain precedence over the individual interest. So, but traditionally that doesn't happen. मेरा हुआ है, मैंने ये इतना किया है, इससे ज़्यादा मुझे करना ही नहीं है. And sometimes we don't even do that properly, which does not make the vehicle run properly. And unless something is told to me, I will not do it. This is the approach. Usually, in organizations which have very rigid structures, this is followed, that a person below, somewhere in the middle level management, or in the lower level management would not have any say. He just has to blindly implement whatever is being pushed down from the upper level management. And these are three typical uh, characteristics of a rigid organization, and especially government organizations, because they're so huge that for even making a small change, it has to go through various layers, and getting that permission becomes very difficult. Next. So, what commitment? I don't want to extend this too much. That's why I've kept this short. Students who may have not read this and may feel that they would get more knowledge out of reading this based on this discussion, please go ahead. What commitments we should make, and how the author wants us to work is, uh, many of our teachers keep telling this to us. We need to think. We're not oriented to think. Mari ma'am herself, she's told this to us several times. She's my teacher, so I can share this experience with you, that she would give you a certain project to do, but she wouldn't uh, give everything to you in a, she would not spoon feed you. And then there are very less teachers. I know every time I get to this, but I feel that this platform should be used to even speak about what's happening in our own education system, in our own college, how to think. And that how to think can only come across when we have the freedom to think, and we've been conditioned, oriented in a way which allows us to think. This is very important. And the rule may say that you have to do this, but we have to question the purpose of that rule. If there's a 75% attendance rule, we should not get intimidated by that. Instead, we need to ask ourselves, what was the intended purpose of implementing or framing such a rule? And once we understand that intended purpose behind that, I think that would not seem too repressive, because even students in JNU have gone on protests against imposing such rules. This has happened in the past. But once we understand that it's in our best interest, we would then be working more effectively and productively. And second, the second commitment which we have to make to us, to our own selves, is that our role, we have to play a proactive role. Over here, he's given active. I would add proactive role, and in understanding how things run. First we need to understand how things run, and only then we can understand how things can get better, even in an organization. So, and please never be quiet. Speak up. Even in class, anywhere you go, you feel that you have an opinion which uh, can, a suggestion which can add value. Please do that. It's not that your opinion does not matter. You can at least voice your opinion, and that's how, on a larger scale, we would, when there's cross pollination of ideas, even if they're opposing views, that's how we would get to a better solution. If that doesn't happen, if we're passive, that would not really work. Towards the end, this is the last slide at the end, but the author says Agile is a means, not an end. It's not an end in itself. We've learned in economics that economics is a science which studies the relationship of scarce means and unlimited ends. Ends is the objective. We may have hundreds of goals, we may have hundreds of desires, but the means to attaining those are scarce. So the approach of being agile is not the goal. Our goals are different. being agile should be a means to achieving a goal in a in an effective manner. That's what the author, in my view, is trying to convey by saying that it's a means and not an end in itself. So, if anyone has any other thing to say, we could take them up.
Yeah, how many people have read the book who've come? I have not read. I just joined because I came to know that there is a discussion today, and Rohan sent me that. Like, I have not read. I have other books which I'm reading, so I have not read it.
I have read half the book. It was a really good book. Even though I only read half, I'm saying this, but a really good point in one of the chapters.
Trisha, your voice is breaking. Can everyone hear Trisha clearly? Your voice is breaking, Trisha. Are you on headphones?
Yes, ma'am. Is this better?
Yeah. Oh, yes, it's better now. Yeah.
A really good point in the book was eat your own dog food. So I think in an organization, when everyone is using the product, you get a different perspective on it. And I think in our organization, uh, suppose in a classroom, there are very few teachers who at the end of the year ask you feedback for how they teach. I've actually had a teacher like that, and she was very encouraging. And you make it a friendlier atmosphere rather than a professional atmosphere, which helps people to speak up. So yeah, that's it.
Hmm.
I did not realize I was not presenting my screen.
Yeah, I'm like, maybe I'm only not able to see it or something.
I
It's
apologize.
okay. ठीक है, it's all right. Sometimes we forget to do all those things when we are. It's okay. You're on two devices, right, or something? Or are you on one device?
Yeah, because I wanted to present, I'm on two devices.
It's okay.
And
Okay.
the purpose,
You you
okay, let me just lie
yeah, you
through
can
one.
just go through the slides. Yeah. Anybody else
Okay,
want to say? Anybody else has read the book meanwhile while he's showing the slides?
Excuse me, ma'am. I have read the
Yes.
book and I
Yeah.
have
Yes,
read the
Vasi.
first six chapters.
All right. Vasi, we can't hear you now. Can you hear him?
he said first six
Vasi?
chapters.
Yeah.
Uh,
After that, Vasi. Yeah.
okay, ma'am, are you able to hear me now?
Yes. Now. Yes. Yes. Yes, Vasi. Go ahead.
Okay, so I have read the first six chapters, and the seventh chapter was about it was about implementing agile for your own organization.
Okay. All right. Okay. That's good. That's nice. Anything you want to share apart from that you've read the book?
Apart from that, actually, this was a new experience for me, and
All right. Okay.
understanding this actually took me a lot of time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Was it a heavy book? That means.
It was
Not
somewhat, ma'am,
exactly.
because some terms were, this was what is used in project management. So it took
Huh.
me
Huh.
also some time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So
So, all right.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am. Definitely, this book was heavy to
All
read.
right. Okay. 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 So, all right. Akshat, want to say anything? Akshat, did you read the book? Even if you've not, it's okay. I have not read the book. So,
No, ma'am, I haven't read the book.
hmm. Okay. All right. So, good. I just want to recommend a book to everyone in case you'd like to read it. It's Emotional Agility by Susan David. A nice book. It tells us a lot about how we can become unstuck and how we can move to say a higher emotion from like just being, just grieving or wallowing in self pity or something like that. It's a nice book if you want to read it. Otherwise, she has a TED talk. Y'all can hear me, right? Everyone? Huh.
Yes, ma'am.
So she has a
Yes,
TED
ma'am.
talk also. If you'd like to listen to her TED talk before you decide to read the book, I'm not recommending it for the club as such, but it's a good book. You can read it. It's nice. Um, Okay. So yeah. So next book, y'all have decided anything? What
Yeah.
I had suggested, I had suggested Six Thinking Hats, but I think it's a very long book. So I don't know how much people would be really interested in reading a very lengthy book. That might inhibit. Also, it's a bit serious. It makes sense for all of us. It basically tells us how we can think and exchange ideas and arrive at decisions more quickly collectively when we work. Also, how each one of us can put on a different thinking hat, even if it is an individual decision. So, that way, the book is good. But I really don't know if, it's lengthy. I'm reading it now, so I know it's lengthy. So what have you all decided for the next book?
Yeah.
Keep something which would be relevant to say your field. I'm not saying it should be purely commerce or something like that, but also it shouldn't be very I would say lengthy and too heavy as such. Then people might lose interest in it. That's what
Can we
I
work
think.
on this?
On what?
If six hats is so heavy or it's too long, we all can collaborate
हाँ, you all
and
can do
take
that.
up.
Divide the chapters and do वैसे भी कर सकते हो. There are six hats. So how to apply each of the hats? One person can do. There are
Yeah.
several chapters on each. So you all can do that. That is possible.
All right. Yeah.
Ma'am, one chapter contain how many pages?
No, I don't remember. I'm reading the ebook, so it might be a little different from a hard copy. How many pages are there in a hard copy? I don't know. But it's about 14 pages, I think, on the ebook, on the Kindle.
We'll check. We'll check and let you know, Maithili.
Yeah, yeah. So that is there. So there are actually everybody should read As a Man Thinketh. It's a very small book, but it's a good book. It teaches you how to think and how you cause the circumstances of your life and how you can, really change your thoughts. And that's the only way to self mastery, which is true. Which is, if you don't learn all this now, life will teach you. So, huh. So that is there. That's a good book. So Ikigai is also a good book. That again is lengthy. I think it's important from the point of view that all of you might be thinking, at least should be thinking about your careers now. Those who are in TY and those who are in SY. And many times career decisions are driven by all the wrong reasons and wrong influences. That's why I did a session on career planning with each of the classes that I teach. But I think if you figure out that, or when you go online and look for that Ikigai diagram, you understand what the concept is and try and work on it or listen to some talks on it. Okay. So anybody has
Anything
anything to
else?
say? Anybody's reading something? Anybody wants to share something?
I think six hats would probably be more preferable since it's a
Yeah, yeah, it's a good
collaboration.
book. It's a good book. Y'all can read it that way. Collaborate. If somebody can finish the whole book, great. But Otherwise you all can divide it among yourselves and
Now, any others? Now we have three books which ma'am has recommended.
no, I
Now,
have.
can the
I
others
didn't
respond
recommend as such. I'm telling you all to read them, regardless of whether you use it for the book club or not.
or not? Okay, all right. We'll do that.
Ma'am, do you have any marketing books for recommendation?
Hmm. So Seth Godin's books are good on marketing. He's got a number of books. I think I've read two, three. I've read Purple Cow and another one long back. So his it's good. I mean, I suggest that if you want to, when anytime you want to understand or find out different perspectives on a topic, go look for some good TED Talks first. Look for them.
Okay, ma'am, you're not audible.
Yeah.
Trisha, now since people themselves cannot use, they say self recommendation is no praise. So let me tell you one book written by the coordinator herself, Dr. Marim Narona. It's available on Kindle as an ebook. I personally have bought it. Hello.
Yeah, yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I've personally bought it, and she's written it in this very year, and quite affordable, 200 rupees, 199. So, and she's spoken about COVID, how COVID has changed the marketing patterns, marketing decisions, all of these. So, I would, if you want, I can share the link with you for preliminary marketing books. I would recommend this. Is
Yeah,
there a
sorry, I
special
got
subject?
logged out
Yes,
because I lost my internet connection.
fine.
Yeah, I will check that out, what you said.
Okay, all right. Nothing more, right? Vasi, Mathili, have you read any books which you would like to recommend? I'll make this Jamboard, and then all of these three books are actually really good books. We'll try to, we'll try to accommodate reading all of these books in the club and discussing these. So if you have any recommendations, we can put it right now on this Jamboard. So we are committing to ourselves.
So I read, my genre
Yeah.
is little different. I read different kind of books. So basically right now I'm reading Designing Destiny by
Okay.
Daji Kamlesh Patel, and one more book, Family Wisdom by Robin Sharma. So these two
Okay.
books are my favorite right now.
Some book which you've
Favorite
already
right
read.
now. Okay. Robin Sharma, see you keep recommending na Rohan 5 a.m.
हाँ
Club.
हाँ मैम लिखूं क्या मैम यहाँ पे जैमबोर्ड पे
हाँ अरे
रॉबिन शर्मा की बुक
जैमबोर्ड तुम
बहुत
लोगों
अच्छी
का
होती है।
हाँ
रॉबिन शर्मा की बुक बहुत अच्छी होती है।
या
द मैन हू सोल्ड फरारी वो भी है ना?
The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari. The Monk Who
हाँ
Sold
या द
His
मंक।
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good book.
anything else after this we'll close. Thank you for coming, people. Thanks,
Right. Okay.
thanks for joining, ma'am.
Yeah. Chalo. Thanks everyone. Bye. Take care.
थैंक यू
Bye
मैम,
bye.
बाय मैम, बाय रोहन सर।
Bye bye.